Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
In the heart of Appalachia, where the roar of engines echoes off the hills and the scent of rubber lingers in the air, a new chapter is about to be written in the annals of sim racing. The Tobacco Road Sim Racing League, where grit meets precision and legends are forged in digital fire, arrives at the Coliseum of Chaos, Bristol Motor Speedway. Tonight, the Next Gen machines roll into Thunder Valley with their sleek bodies bristling with horsepower and promise. 160 laps awaits on this half-mile bull ring, a cauldron of concrete and fury where the margin of error is measured in inches and milliseconds. Here, speed is not enough. Survival demands nerve, finesse, and the kind of instinct that only comes from countless battles fought in the sim racing trenches. This is no ordinary race. This is Bristol, where tempers flare, tires scream, and the wall is always one heartbeat away. The drivers of Tobacco Road know what's at stake. Every lap is a confrontation, every corner a test of will. And when the dust settles, only one will stand atop the chaos victorious beneath the virtual lights. Welcome to the storm, welcome to the showdown, welcome to Bristol. This is week number 6. We're officially on the back half of the inaugural season here at Tobacco Road Sim Racing. Brings us to Bristol Motor Speedway. This is Next Gen Broadcasting. I'm Rob Campbell. In the booth with me today, Emmett Crow. Welcome in, Emmett. It's been a couple weeks since we had you on doing some Tobacco Road racing, so welcome back.
Yeah, great to be back, and what a better place to be at, Rob, than the last great Coliseum. It's Bristol, baby, you know, and there's going to be, the tempers are going to be hot, but the action's going to be hot. I'm ready to get this race underway.
Speaking of temperatures, let's take and see what the track temps are this evening. 77 degree Fahrenheit air temp. It's actually exactly the same on track, 77 degrees Fahrenheit too as well. So as you mentioned, should be a ton of fun here in the bull ring known as Bristol. 13 drivers on track, just finishing up practice. Then we'll be heading into qualifying, a usual one lap of qualifying. So while we're waiting for that to kick off, let's take a look at how the championship standings are unfolding here coming into this race. Travis Everett leading the way, not here this week though, so he's going to give up some points. Xavier Rugelberg 20 points back of him. Ronald Brelin, 138 points in third. Chris Toppings just 1 point back in fourth place. Michael Peden rounds out our top 5. So you can see there in the mushy middle, still lots of opportunity for drivers to move up and down the standings. A couple of those drivers not here this evening, so opportunity for many drivers to snatch away some much needed points here tonight. Emmett, give us a little word here about Bristol. Track you really like and enjoy, or is it one that maybe has done you wrong in the past?
You know, it's a love-hate relationship, but I think DW put it best when he said it's like if you took a bunch of airplanes and you stuck them in a blender. I mean, this thing is just unbelievable. There's going to be a lot of action, a lot of, you know, they used to call it the boot scoop boogie when you get up and give them the old bump and run. expected a lot of these guys to use the chrome horn tonight, Rob.
Yeah, the old chrome horn. I guess everything though is aluminum anymore now. Even your basic car on the road, next to impossible to find any chrome. If you do see chrome on a car out there on the road, chances are it's just plastic that's been dipped in chrome too as well.
Right.
So the days of actual chrome gone by the wayside. So on board here with Ronald Braylon, he's out putting in his first sightseeing lap here. Emmett, it's going to be quick qualifying here with only one lap. And Bristol being, what, about 16-second laps around here. Won't take very long to have qualifying done and dusted.
Yeah, it's the same distance as Martinsville, but it's so much bigger. Like, the banking is so much more progressive than Martinsville. But like you said, that 15, 16-second bracket, this is going to be some fast qualifying. So you better get your lap in because it's going to go by real quick.
Yeah. Oh, we see Cody Adams hammering the inside wall on the front straight. That's it's going to negate his lap. So not the way he wanted that one lap to go. Jonathan Pereira in the Armor All machine. Suspect he'll have some protection, extra protection there for him to keep him off the wall. But wait for a time from him. James Johnson usually has a Jimmy Johnson paint theme on his car. I don't think he's rocking one this week. Still driving the 88 though. He's got a Budweiser scheme on this week.
Yeah, that's a unique looking scheme, and there's another unique looking scheme, the 27. What is that on the front of that car? Is that a dog?
I'm not sure what exactly that is. It's I've been trying to figure it out for weeks what he's got on the front of that car, but I gotta say James McRae though has the best profile picture in the league though. See if we can bring it back up. Proper race driver profile picture there. Race suit and all, even got the long flowing hair. So James McRae doing it right. As looks like qualifying finished up here with all of our drivers already setting in their time. The ones that are going to do it, looks like Scotty Lanning, Guilherme Oliveira, and Joshua Nunez not going to put in a time here. They're going to start from the tail of the field.
Yeah, and you can't. That, by the way, folks, that picture of James McRae is not AI at all. Or Photoshop.
No, not. What's this AI you speak of? There's AI hasn't infiltrated anything.
For that.
Oh, it's in. You welcome into the show. Is in. Better late than never. But we've got the 3-man show going this evening. So I'm actually going to step back. You guys are going to take over for this one, and I'm just going to do straight up producing on the back end. So qualifying finished up, fellas. We're just waiting for the clock to tick over here for the last, say, about a minute and a half left in qualifying. So maybe give us a little tips and tricks to keep an eye out here for Bristol. They got 160 laps, 4 sets of tires. What's the strategy going to be here tonight, Emmett?
Just manage your tires. You only get 4 sets, but this track eats up a lot of tires. Puts a lot of rubber on the track, so just manage your tires.
So it looks like they just had the final little briefing there before we're getting to go live again. 5 minutes of qualifying here, only 1 lap. Maybe they should extend it to maybe 2 or 3 laps for next season so the drivers can get a little extra time on track. But looks like about 30 seconds left to go in qualifying. We'll take a look at the grid. And looks like we actually had one more driver pop into the session at the end. Joshua Nunes popping in. Looks like he is going to get out on track to put in a lap here. So we'll see what he puts on the board. Coming in with no practice, jumping in at the end of qualifying. So it's going to be interesting here for Joshua to see what kind of time he can put on the board.
Yeah, and that's going to be very difficult and challenging for Nunez coming into. You got to practice at Bristol because, I mean, you got to get your line down, find the fastest way around the track. But yeah, that's definitely going to be pretty difficult for Nunez.
Yeah, especially with a 1-lap flyer, and that's it.
But he managed to get in just before the clock ticked over, so we'll pop up the grid and there we go, fellas. Take us through the grid.
Yeah, you got Michael Peden sitting on pole here in the number 24 car with Jonathan Pereira to his outside. Row 2, you got James Jimmy Johnson in the 88 car starting next to James McRae. Joshua Nunez, you saw that late flyer there at the end, puts him P5 on the grid. He'll start next to Ronald Braylon, round out row 3. Row 4, we got Scott Matthews next to Andrew Barnes, my apologies. And then you got Chris Toppings and Cody Adams in row 5. Row 6, you have Gavin King and Guilherme Oliveira rounding out P12, and Scotty Lanning bringing up the rear of the field in P13.
So let me ask you this, Brian. Who is your pick to win tonight?
Man, that's a good one. I'm gonna throw my cap onto the number 88 back there, James Jimmy Johnson. I think he's kind of long overdue to have some good results, so I'm gonna go with him tonight. How about you?
You know, seeing it in qualifying, I like a pole sitter, but I think I'm gonna go with let's go with James McRae in that 27, whatever is on that pink color car. Is that a dog, I think?
Yeah, I think that's an anime dog of some kind. Pom Peru? I don't know. I'm sure we're getting roasted in the comments section.
Oh man. Pom Peruan. All right.
Yeah, Bristol's an interesting one because you'd think that it would favor, the front row, being that it can be hard to pass, but with guys doing the bump and run, it's not always the case. I've done one long distance truck race at Bristol, and it was very interesting, the dynamic of who just hooked it around the bottom all the time and who kind of diamond off in the corners and was able to drive it in there deeper and maybe sacrifice a little bit on the exit, but you are able to get those moves done and be able to kind of block a little bit coming off the corner.
Another thing is, though, are they doing the split pit road? And if that's the case, then who's pitting on the back stretch and who's pitting on the front stretch by the start-finish line?
It does say dual pit road, but I'm wondering if we have enough folks in the race to be able to utilize both pit lanes.
That's what I'm wondering. As the green flag flies, we are underway at Bristol.
You saw there a good launch from the 88. Johnson, he gave the bump to the 24 to tell him to get a move on, but that launches him into the lead.
Yes, Peyton got a great launch. Pereira going to move into the number 2 spot. Follow him behind an Armor All machine. But look at your pick on James Johnson trying to get under James McRae right now. That battle going on for the 3rd position.
Yeah, our picks must have hurt us, and they're just going to run door to door all night. Looks like Ronald Braylon, there he goes, driving in deep like I was talking about there, giving up a little bit of the exit, but he's going to stick on the back bumper, the 88 in front of him. Gives him a little hurry up bump there on the exit of turn 4.
Well, I think back when we used to have the old pavement and back in the early 2000s, we had so many. Oh my gosh, that's the 2nd place car. Pereira has just taken out. Something happened. The
whole field. Everybody behind just decided they wanted to be a part of that wreck.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take a look right here as we take a look at the replay and see what happened right here. What do you see, Brian?
That's a weird one. Looks like maybe he just got a little wheel spin and it chased it down the track and just overcorrected maybe and came back up. That's not what I would expect on my first thought was maybe he bounced it off the wall, but it looks like he just got some wheel spin and just kind of chased the car, and once it overcorrected, he was just a passenger. But all those cars behind just not reacting at all to the yellow flag or a stopped car and piled on in. Man, I think that collected both of our picks, didn't it?
James McRae made it through. So so far, I'm okay.
Just my commentator's curse tonight. Sorry, Johnson, you're gonna have to use that fast repair pretty early on.
They do get a fast repair, I believe. One fast repair, so that's going to be.
Well, I mean, Johnson's there in 3rd, so maybe he got out okay there. Did he go? Did he? Maybe he did.
I think the 7 car was the first car that got involved, I believe. Look at Josh.
Okay, maybe we didn't curse our picks tonight then. All right.
And then look at Joshua Nunez as we ride on board with James Johnson right here. Here's your pick right here, Brian.
Oh my God. Just misses him. I do not have that luck. I can guarantee you that would not be me if I was in that car. I would have been pinned to the wall absolutely there.
So what you're saying, after this race, you're going to go buy a lottery ticket, right? Going to go to your local convenience store and get a lottery ticket?
No, I think James Johnson needs to buy a lotto ticket because normally I don't have that luck, and I thought I passed it on to him through the commentator booth here, but apparently not. So,
well, it's better than cursing them, you know, doing the
true
broadcaster curse.
That is true. So.
All right, so we're going green this time. Again, Michael Payton, your leader, followed by James McCurry on the outside. Third is going to be James Johnson lining up next to Joshua Nunez. Then you find Chris Toppings lining up next to Cody Adams, sorry, excuse me. And King lining up next to Barnes in 8th. 9th is going to be Braylon. 10th is going to be Lanning, and that rounds out your top 10. All right, here we go. And we are back underway here at Bristol.
There you see Johnson get the good start again on the restart. Gives a little hurry-up bump to the 24 in front. And they're going to go 3 wide into turn 3. Bold move from James Johnson on the inside. They just spit that number 24 Pepsi machine out. They are not wasting any time here.
Man, they did split him, and what a move by James Johnson to get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get up to the lead.
14 of Andrew Barnes spun, but spun down in the apron, and we are staying green.
Oh, this might be
leaders come around here.
If he got it fired back up, rocking the Dirty Mo Media on that car. Is that a door bumper clear on the front hood of that car? I think I saw. Barnes back up to speed.
And his car's looking a little worse for wear, but he is back rolling again, and we stay green at Bristol. Yeah, looks like we kind of got two definitive packs that are forming here, possibly 3.
Well, and the thing is about this track is your car, when you're in clean air, it's like a rocket ship, but when you get into that dirty air, it's like you hit a force field behind the other car. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely, and especially as we see them start getting, 40, 50 laps on these tires, it'll just start pushing like nobody's business, especially if they're behind a car. So we see Chris Toppins get by Nunez, who drifted up and had a little brush with the wall.
Yeah, and it'll be also interesting, Brian, how many laps they can go on these tires, what the stint is, I mean, will they go 60 laps? If that's the case, then, I mean, we're at the halfway point at that point. So it'll be definitely, oh, never mind, 80 laps. Sorry. I was thinking it was 120. Sorry about that. But if we hit 80, and they're still good, I mean, could somebody be trying to make this a 2-stop race and not try to come in for those 4 sets?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I mean, granted, it was in a truck race, which is a very different tire wear model than these Cup cars do. But so we see, goodness gracious, the 68 Lord. Gets up in the wall and comes down and tags. I didn't catch the number on that, but got way high off the exit of the corner and smacked the wall.
Yeah, it looks like Cody Adams is who was the victim of that wreck right there. Take another look right here as we ride on board with Cody. Just hit the wall and then, just overcorrected. I don't think he hit anybody.
No, it looked like on my screen that he had hit somebody, but it looks like the 23 machine got lucky that time and did not get collected, unlike the first caution.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it looked like he hit him. Oh, he did. He hit him in the quarter panel.
He did. Netcode saved him, which you don't get to say very often in iRacing.
Yeah, that is the N word that you don't talk about in iRacing.
Yeah, that for all intents and purposes should have been a right rear hook into the wall,
Oh,
and he just glances off like didn't even like it was a feather floating in the breeze.
now 25 it might have been. So that was the 23 of Braylon that he brushed off of. So that is our second caution as we work lap number 20. Keeping these tires real cool, Brian. This might make it interesting when it comes to the different strategies for these drivers.
Yeah, you know, if we don't get a lot of green flag run, and the tire wear is not going to be very high on these cars. You know, this is Bristol in a nutshell. You either have really great long green flag runs, or you just have a caution fest. It doesn't really seem to be, you know, anything in between. It's an either or situation. So, you know, coming in tonight with a small field, you were hoping that you would get a lot of green flag running, but you know, maybe some of these guys didn't practice as much, or are finding that their car's handling different in traffic than it was practicing in clean air. Going back to what you were talking about earlier. So, I mean, yeah, all these caution laps so far early on are helping the fuel mileage and definitely helping the tire wear.
Yeah, definitely. And as a crew chief, I mean, you got to be thinking now, okay, this just puts a dent into our strategy, because here we are thinking, okay, we'll make this a 1 or 2 or 3 stop race. But with these cautions early on and keeping those tires cool, they might change up their strategy. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and as we've seen in other races so far this season, it seems to be fuel is the limiting factor on their pit strategy. So, you know, if these guys are coasting and saving a lot of fuel under caution, they're stretching out how long before they have to come down pit road. But as we can see, lights are off the pace car, dives to pit road, and we're about to go back green with James Johnson leading the helm.
Yeah, James Johnson got a great launch right there. James McCrae shoots into the number 2 spot. Got a little jockeying for position from 3rd place on back. As Nunez is going to stay in the 4th position. But he's got a whole bunch of cars behind him. And oh my gosh, Cody Adams again, not Thomas.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was the 68 getting into the 16 or the 16 into the 68, but either way, both of them are collected, and we're back under caution at Bristol.
Wow. So not even 30 laps into this race, we've already had 3 cautions. Gavin King. Ooh.
Yeah, can we I'd have to see that from the behind camera to see if he got loose, or that maybe had a little bit of intent behind it. That's hard to tell.
Oh, we see right here. I think
he just got the wheels spun up.
Yeah, that's the thing about these next gen cars. What I've noticed is if you get on the throttle at the wrong point, coming out of a feather, as we take a look at our digger cam, but if you get on the throttle at the wrong point, you're going to have a huge deal of wheel spin, and you're going to probably just go around.
Yeah, and if I saw the 23 had a spin under caution as well. I'm not sure if he just had a checkup from everybody catching the pace car, or had a little help. But yeah, going back to what you're saying, the 16 just gets a little hot on the corner exit there, and next thing you know, he's sideways trying to keep the car under him, and unfortunately he had the 68 next to him.
Yeah, and that was Nunez that we saw on the wall, so that's going to move. Let's see right here. Right after this, folks, keep an eye on the 12 car at the top of your screen. See what happens right. Oh, Braylon just got into him right there.
Yeah.
Ronald Braylon.
Yeah, I think if we follow this, I think Chris comes back around and expresses his displeasure with the 23.
Yeah, as we take a look right here.
Yeah, this is shades of Kenseth and Logano and Martinsville there, although it doesn't junk both of the cars. So, but yeah, a little tit for tat.
But I mean, what can I say?
As Denny Hamlin would say, that's just short track racing, baby.
He's a hack. But what can I say?
I'm pulling for him in the Final Four, so.
Okay, so you said you're pulling for Hamlin in the Final Four.
I am. I am.
I think Briscoe gets it done, dude. Because like you got to think about that's where Briscoe got his first career win at. Um, I mean, it'd be sweet to see Larson win another one, but I, I don't think Hamlin.
I want to see Hamlin do it just for the LOLs because of the fact of the lawsuit going on between his team 2311 and Front Row and NASCAR, and the fact that NASCAR would have to crown him a champion in the middle of a lawsuit is just funny to me. So, but we're gonna go back green single file. James Johnson fires off for the 4th time. Man, he gets such great jumps out here, isn't he?
Yeah, Nunez slow off the pace. He must have missed a shift or something. Now trying to. Oh, this is going to be bad if he's in front of Gavin King as the caution comes out once again.
Yeah, that was a manually thrown caution. Not sure the reason behind that, but
so we're being told that Nunez got an EOL. Didn't have enough time to get back there, so that's what they threw it to rack him back up and get Nunez in his right position.
yeah, either that or they were out of position with pits or something, because I'm seeing some black flags get cleared. So definitely something was out of order on that restart, and just like they would do in real life, just wave off the green. They manually did that, so to speak. So we're going to rack them and stack them and do this again for, what is this, caution number 4?
4th caution on lap 31 of 160.
That's Bristol.
Yeah, this is Bristol, definitely. And it's just amazing. Like, you know, I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, this is probably going to be a 2 or 3 stop race. But, I mean, these guys, if they keep these tires cooled down, they could make it 1 or 2, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, if the fuel is playing in their favor, they could definitely try and extend this a lot longer than we initially thought they might.
Well, because the thing about these next-gen cars is the fall-off isn't as bad as, you know, say the Gen 6, Gen 5, or Gen 4 at Bristol. So that's definitely going to play into it, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so. You know, I think it's just going to boil down to, with 4 sets of tires, when they have to come down to pit road for gas to say, okay, is this going to be a gas and 4 tire stop, or is this going to be a gas and go stop? So, and each lap under caution is pushing it more and more towards, well, I can afford to take a set of tires when I come down and stop, because, you know, we're 50, 60 laps into this already.
Yeah, definitely. So looks like we're going to get the 1 to go this time by, as lights are going to go off on the pace car. Let's see. Yep, there it is. So we're going to go green this next time by. James Johnson, your leader.
Looks like we're staying single file on the restart here.
James Johnson's going to be your leader, followed by James McCrae, followed by Payton, followed by Braylon, Pereira, Lanning, Chris Toppings, Cody Adams, Matthews, and Nunez round out your top 10. So here we go, folks. Field works out of 3 into 4. We're going to go single file. Pace car hits pit road, and Barney the flagman's going to wave the green flag, and we're back underway at Bristol.
And James Johnson gets a good jump again, but this time James McRae also gets a good jump and follows him hot on his heels into turn 1. So far, it's looking like the James and James show tonight. I'm not seeing anybody really making a charge, but as we've seen in other races, the guys behind could just be using this as a tire management game. But as we see Chris Toppings ahead of the 68 there going into turn 3 and 4.
Looks like Oliveira has pulled off the track. He is the first car out of this race, by the way.
Cody Adams, you saw there on board, he got a little bit of the wall coming off of 4. He's just trying to make the track a little bit wider.
Yeah, definitely you got to think about, I mean, he's already used that fast repair once and involved in the second caution as there he goes around.
Yeah, it looked like he got a little bit on the apron there, and that's all it takes.
That'll be our 5th caution of the evening as we work lap number 38. Man, tough break for Cody. Cody Adams is just wanting to get out of here. He's like, I want to go to the airport.
Yeah. he's on the pit to his crew chief saying, can we park this in the hauler, please? I embarrassed myself enough tonight. And that crew chief's going, no, we're in the Owners' Points Championship. Stay out there.
Yeah, for real. Take a look right here.
He's just straddling the yellow line right there. That's a big no-no at Bristol, and that's the end result there, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, yeah, that apron,
keep that out of the wall.
That apron is so slick because it's so flat when you come off that banking, and that difference, it'll just send you around every time. But James Johnson's going to be your leader. As we take a look at Scott Matthews in the 7 machine. Now we see the 16 of Gavin King. Looks like he will get back on the lead lap. So he'll be our lucky dog recipient. So that'll put 11 cars on the lead lap now.
Yeah, looks like Chris Toppins coming in.
Yeah. This is
looks like the only one that's entering the pit. So might just be trying to change up his strategy compared to the rest of the field. Get on some fresh tires, work his way to the front.
Yeah, Nunez, the fake out.
Yeah, well, he might be looking to see where his pit box is. With him joining so late, he may not know if he's on the front stretch or the back stretch.
I know, right? Well, he did qualify 5th, so he should be on the front stretch, I would think. But with this small of a field, I mean, 13's hard to divide into 2 because you're not going to get, a solid number. It's going to be a decimal.
I tell you, the real life cup teams would love to have a pit box that size, wouldn't they?
Oh, definitely.
No problem with tires getting smacked with cars coming out, or Jackman getting ran over, or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're pitting on the backstretch and you're the only one, yeah, you got the whole pit lane to use. But we see Chris
can't get penalized for crossing too many pit boxes when you're the only one you're crossing.
Exactly. Oh, good.
Yeah, as we see the 16 drop to the back of the field, looks like he has an EOL penalty, and pace car lights are off, and we're going to go double file this time. So changing up what the restart strategy is. So we're going to have the 2 James, who have been the best of the bunch tonight, going door to door instead of nose to tail as they fire off into one here shortly.
Yeah, and I was just going to add, the 16 got back on the lead lap, so he was the recipient of the lucky dog. That's why he's back there, as James Johnson gets another great launch, and he'll shoot out still to the lead, but James McRae was right behind him.
James McRae's been studying him all night, and he got a great launch, and he's looking to capitalize on that.
Yeah, let's see if he gives him the old boot scoot boogie right here. Maybe not. Maybe just see what he can do when it comes time for that move later on tonight.
Yeah, James McRae is saying, I'm tired of staring at the back bumper of this 88. I want him to be looking at my back bumper now.
Yeah, as we take a look right here.
Definitely looks like McRae's got the better exit off these corners.
Yeah.
But Johnson doing what he needs to keep the car exactly where he needs, not giving McRae a lane to get by. So if McRae wants to get by, he's going to have to swap some paint, looks like.
Yeah, and it looked like Johnson actually got a little loose that last lap. I saw a little wiggle come from that 88, excuse me. So got to keep an eye on that for sure.
It's like an incident back in the field between the 14 and the 16.
And it looks like the 16 is going to take a tow. I mean, the 14 is going to take a tow. So that was Andrew Barnes and Gavin King involved. King just got back on the lead lap. So we'll have to take a look. Here's the replay right here. What do you think happened right here, Brian?
Oh, classic get loose off the corner, and Gavin King unfortunately had nowhere to go once the 14 snapped back up towards the outside wall there. So nothing malicious, just overdriving the corner exit, and the 16 sitting there going, why you blocking me, bro?
Yeah, for real. But I hate to see that happen to such a beautiful looking scheme with the Dirty Mo Media on the 14 of Austin Barnes. So that will give Gavin King, let's see, did they give him an EOL?
Not yet.
Not
Andy
yet.
Barnes has decided back to the hauler with this one.
Yep, so that'll be our second car out of this race. Again, there is 11 cars now on the lead lap with that retirement upon. So it looks like Johnson pitted, Brian, so that's going to move James McRae into the lead.
Yeah, definitely an interesting call there. I'm not sure I want to be back in the end of the field with all the incidents that have happened, but you got to pit at some point. So it looks like, Johnson's pit crew standing there going, "Why are we pitting right now?" They don't understand it either. Just sitting around eating ice cream, as you would hear in Days of Thunder. But regardless, the 27 James McRae resumes or takes over the lead here. Looks like we're going to have one to go this time by. And 23 of Ronald Braylon, who had some misfortune very early on in this race, has recovered, and he's going to restart P2.
Yeah, and we look at this, and P3, our pollster, Mr. Michael Payton, will start in third. Fourth is going to be Jonathan Pereira. Fifth is going to be, hold on a second, live timing's going a little crazy. Fifth is going to be Joshua Nunez, line up next to Scotty Lanning. And then Chris Topping, Scotty Matthews, James Johnson, and Gavin King round out your field. Actually, King has pulled it off, so James Johnson will restart 10th, and that is the last car in the lead lap. Green flag back in the air here at Bristol.
McRae, who's been one of the best starters of the night, gets a great restart. And but Ronald Braylon, man, he hooked a cable to the back of the bumper of McRae, and he's following him right along. Absolutely no gap between them, and they have pulled a massive lead over P3 at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. But it's going to be interesting as these laps unfold. You know, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. I mean, we're only less than 27 laps away from halfway. It's going to be interesting for sure to see how the new tires are on James Johnson, and if that's the case, we got what a save by Scotty, man! Oh man, he almost saved it.
And you cursed it.
I thought he had it. I did. I thought he had it, but that'll bring out our seventh caution of the night. Lap 54.
That was a heck of a drift he had there for a long time.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I thought he's power sliding there for a second, like in the old getting an old late model or old sprint car. Oh man.
Yeah, it looks like he got some help from the 12 of Chris Toppings to start that off there.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Take a look right here. We ride on board with Toppings. Oh yeah, that's just a classic Bristol bump and run right there.
I just want to point out that he can't be mad at the 23 for doing that to him if he's going to do that to other people.
I know, right? I know. Oh, man. So that'll be our seventh caution of the evening. And now look at this. James McRae hits pit road along with, well, that looks like James Johnson coming back in. Probably just to top off, wouldn't you think, Brian?
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I top up fuel here, so you think he would jump back in front of McRae, just needing gas and go there. Didn't see the car go up on the jacks. So, yeah.
So Ronald Braylon, Jonathan Pereira, Scotty Matthews, Chris Toppings all stayed out. So that'll be Braylon goes to the lead, Pereira in second, Matthews in third, and fourth will be James Johnson. Excuse me. I had to look at it. I was watching it. It was moving up and down and making sure I got it where it was still.
Yeah,
But
Chris Toppings was fourth, but he got an EOL penalty for spinning the 7 car there and bringing out the caution. But so it looks like James Johnson using that early pit stop compared to James McRae came in, spent very minimal time at the pit box to top up fuel and get an extra couple laps out of that car, and he'll restart P4.
yeah,
So now we sit here and wonder, okay, for the 3 cars in front that haven't pit yet, how long can they go? And are they going to have to make green flag stops?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, especially, like you said, the top 3, see how long they could go. And it's going to be interesting how quick McRae and Johnson are able to get around this top 3. And if that happens, if we get another caution, these guys might be coming in to get some tires. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And if I'm James McRae or James Johnson, I'm sitting there going, okay, I know I've got 50 plus lap newer tires. I cannot afford to have a scrap with these guys. I can't afford to junk them or get junked by them. I got to keep the nose clean, even if it means staying behind them for a couple laps.
Here we go, folks. Coming into the restart zone, and green flag back underway as Braylon jumps out to the lead. But look at this, James Johnson shot out of a cannon, and he's about to take the lead back into turn number 2. Now coming down the front stretch. Sorry, turn number 4, coming down the front stretch. And new leader, James Johnson, goes back to the lead. What a move, Brian.
And soon behind him, it will soon be James McRae. But yeah, the way he just sliced and diced from P4 to the lead there.
Big wreck in the back. Maybe not. Maybe they saved it. What a save. I just saw a car hit the wall and then bounce off like a ping pong ball. And so that was Scott Matthews who was involved in that last caution after almost making a heck of a save. This time he does save it.
Yeah, he came off the wall and gave a massive door check to, I think it's going to be the 24 there. And both cars keep going. Yeah, but yeah, he looked like the cue ball getting shot around a pool table there.
Yeah, for real, he did. But as we see right here, Nunez working underneath of Matthews. Nunez trying to take away. He does take away the 7th position. So move Nunez. Oh my gosh, Scott Matthews has got trouble. Now we see Chris Topping.
The 7 car is using the strategy of, if I smack the wall so many times, eventually the car will be small enough I can take that line without hitting the wall.
Yeah, he's trying to think about pulling the Ross Chastain and pulling the old Hell Melon out, it seems like. But meanwhile, James Johnson continued to lead, and James McRae has found back up to that back bumper of the 88 as we work lap 66 right here. Here comes McRae. He'll look to the inside, trying to get to the corner panel. Can't do it.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting dynamic because McRae's got a few lap newer tires. Granted, they were under caution, but still. But we know that they should be equal on fuel. So James Johnson running that defensive bottom line, which is going to use up the tires more. But at the same time, McRae is attacking and really using those fresh tires.
Yeah, now we work lap number 69, excuse me. I thought it was at 70, but 69. There'll be 11 laps to go until we hit halfway. So that's something to keep an eye on, especially with these tires. And we got a car on pit road. I believe that's Scott Matthews on pit road. Yep, Scott Matthews coming in. Of course, he was having trouble after those 2 incidents that he was involved in. And now Pereira's trying to work under Braylon, Brian.
Yeah, he's trying to get to the bumper there. He just can't seem to get a good exit off the corners.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because these 2 are still on their tires from the start of the race. They have not come to pit road to change them. Even though, well, you know, that's interesting because Pereira was involved in that first caution when he had the single car spin. Do you think I don't think he came in and took tires. Do you?
I don't think so either. Unfortunately, timing the scoring doesn't show the service that they took. They just show last pit stop and time in the pits. But yeah, it's Definitely an interesting strategy. You know, with all the cautions we've had, you'd think that they would have pit for tires and fuel during a caution period versus going several laps down with green flag pit stops.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Chris Toppings gets around Scotty Lanning in the Krispy Kreme machine. You know, boys, if that light comes on, you get a free one. Nice and hot right off the line from Mocksville, North Carolina.
Best Krispy Kreme is the one that's just down the road from Daytona. Nothing's better than 5 o'clock in the morning at the Rolex 24. Tell you what.
I'll take your word for it, because I'm over here in Texas, so yeah, I'll take your word for it. As we see Pereira trying to work under Braylon for the number 3 spot. But
yeah, we see the 7 behind there on fresh tires, and he's just going to carve them up like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, the 7 car, though, remember, folks, the 7 car is not, this is not for position. The 7 car is actually 31 laps down. Wow. Taking a look right here as Johnson still hanging on to that race lead. He's jumped, it's still 0.17 of a second. As James McRae is right there just trying to find a move. Where will he make that move? That is the question that we are wondering. Brian, when do you think he'll make that move?
I don't know. I think he might be content to bide his time, save the tires a little bit here. You know, you've heard of shadow boxing. Well, this is shadow racing right now. Literally just driving the tire tracks of the 88 in front of them. So, going to be doing a little bit of fuel saving, sitting in the draft and being able to back up the corner a little bit. But more importantly, with not attacking at the moment, he's saving his tires.
Yeah,
Taking
definitely.
That slightly higher line there.
Yeah, definitely, as we have just passed a little past halfway. And James Johnson continuing to lead, followed by James McRae, Michael Payton, who started on the pole in this race. Ronald Braylon, Jonathan Pereira, who started outside pole, but had a single car spin, had some heavy contact, had to take that fast repair. He finds himself in P5. P6 is going to be Chris Toppings. Joshua Nunez, as now we see Cody Adams get out of the way. Cody Adams back on the track, by the way. And now we see Scotty Lanning in 8th and Cody Adams, the first car, 11 laps down, excuse me. And that rounds
Yeah,
out.
I'm not sure if the 68 knew that Peden was coming up so quickly behind him, but I don't think he intended to drive the 24 Pepsi machine down on the apron like that. As we see the 38 here, Jonathan Pereira still attacking on the 23 in front of him of Ronald Braylon. Braylon taking that higher line, slightly better on the tires, able to roll more speed around the top side versus on the bottom side you can attack better. But pretty evenly matched, these two, the 23 and the 38 here. And speaking of evenly matched, back up to the front where nothing's changed. They are still lockstep, nose to tail.
Yeah, definitely trying to get around is McRae. Here he goes. He's going to shoot to the inside. Tried to pull the move, but couldn't do it. But I was going to say, who do you think Michael Peden's favorite driver is? Do you think it's Earnhardt?
I tell you what, speaking of Earnhardt, that's what James McRae looked like he was trying to do there. And Terry Labonte is the 88 there. What was it he said? I wasn't trying to wreck him. I was just trying to rattle his cage.
That's what I was about to say. I wasn't trying to wreck it, just lower rattle his cage. Oh, man. Classic Earnhardt. As we see McRae trying to shoot to the outside. He's got
a good run here.
Yeah, trying to get some side drafts. He's got the fresher tires. Can he make it stick? He's going to drive it down, drag race down to the line. But it's going to be McRae had the advantage for just a second, but Johnson able to clear him as they go into 2.
And if you're James McRae, you're putting all this away in the back of your brain for later in the race to know what Johnson's tendencies are going to be depending on where you're going to run.
Yeah, and here we go again as McRae trying to get alongside of him. Drag race once again. This time it's going to be Johnson by quite a bit. And now it just looks like McRae is seeing what he can do. You know what he's doing? He's trying to get Johnson to burn up his equipment while maintaining his. It's the hardest thing to do as a driver, but if you do it, it can pay off quite as well with that checkered flag. Would you agree, Brian?
Oh, absolutely. If you can push that guy in front of you without pushing your own equipment, that is the best feeling in the world. You get that car in front of you doing a little bit of mirror driving, especially at a place like Bristol with these cars where all it takes is a split-second early throttle application to get that back end out. As we see 27 driving in real deep on the bottom there. They're going to go side by side, but roles reverse. It's going to be the 27 of McRae on the inside this time, and the 88 of Johnson trying to roll that outside line. And the 27 is going to clear him.
Yeah, McRae's going to be able to pull the slider. Slides up in front of Johnson, hits the line. We're coming, guys. We're coming less than 60 laps left in this race. This is
I tell you what, though, with those two battling at the front, that brought the 24 right back into this battle here.
Yeah, the 24's got that speed. Once again, wanted to mention he was our pole sitter for this race, so he's definitely got the speed. Just hasn't had the handling of the car that we've seen from Johnson and McRae.
Yeah, and with him not battling anybody, he's been able to save fuel, save tires the best out of anybody in the top three right now. As we see, McRae has gotten by and pulled away there into the distance. Not sure if that's just the few lap better tires, excuse me, or if Johnson's just adopting a different strategy now that he's running second versus first. But either way, James McRae's pulled out big lead, one of the biggest that we've seen of the night.
Yeah, and
looks now like James coming down to pit road.
Yeah, he's going to have to slow her down way. Whew. He looked like he was flying down pit road, but James Johnson coming in. So this is interesting, guys, because now we're looking at it a tire perspective as McRae sees Johnson hit pit road. Do you think we see McRae hit pit road at lap 110?
I think we'll have to keep an eye out for it. I
mean, we saw how quick Scott Matthews was on those fresh tires. So, wouldn't you think if you're James McRae, maybe lap 110, try to shorten this race? Because, I mean, he's gonna get Johnson probably a lap or two down. So as this race goes on, as we take a look and, well, he's still on the lead lap. Never mind. I was about to say, I was looking to see. Okay, so he's just on the lead lap, just ahead of McRae. I was looking at it because it said he was 11 laps down. I was like, that's not right. But, oh, it's one lap. Okay, sorry. I was trying to take a look right there. But it's just, it's interesting as McRae, this is kind of a game of cat and mouse. When do you think we see McRae coming in? And, well, now we're going to see it, lap 106.
Yeah, it gets to the point where if it stays green, you have to answer the undercut there. You can't just give seconds away to a guy on fresh tires, especially as they're going to start working into lap traffic. So that'll hand the lead over to Michael Peden in the 24 Pepsi Exalta machine, with Ronald Braylon up 4 spots on the night to run P2 at the moment.
I wish I could have put DuPont on that car. You know? Oh, man. Now we see McRae back on the track. McRae being scored in P6. A lap down. And Johnson coming up on him. Johnson's going to pass him right here, guys.
It'll take a couple laps to get these tires up to pressure and everything and get back into the rhythm, but that gap that existed before the pits has, I'd say, been cut in half, down to about 6 or 7 tenths at the moment between McRae and Johnson.
Well, as this cycle continues, James McRae is looking like looking like their crew chief looking like a genius right now, because the way that the cycle started, Johnson stopped early, but McRae is still able to stay out front of Johnson. This is interesting for sure.
Yeah, I think McRae having a slightly better pit entry is playing a part in that too, as we saw Johnson really struggle to get it wound down and getting those brakes red hot, trying to get it slowed down and not get a speeding penalty. So that plays a factor too on green flag pit stops. You know, you're under pressure to not get a penalty and actually make sure you get into pit lane properly. So we'll see how it pans out here. But 6-lap newer tires in favor of McRae, who still maintains the advantage over Johnson. But right now, your leader is Michael Peden. He last pit on lap 55, so about 60 laps ago. And Ronald Braylon running in P2. According to the time and score, and it says Ronald Braylon has not pit since lap 6, and he is in pit lane now. Not sure that's accurate, but if that is the case, that is a heck of a tire management from the 23 car there.
Well, that is right. That is true, because he never came in. Remember, he stayed out under that last caution. As here's your battle for the lead right now between Peden and, well, this is your battle for the lead, I believe, isn't it, Brian?
I think it's him getting a lap back.
Okay. All right.
But it's interesting going back to Ronald Braylon. If he truly didn't pit since lap 6, and all these other guys have come in and pit and gotten tires since then, he has a whole set of tires waiting that these other guys don't have. That could be a big factor later in the race, especially if we get into a green-white checker scenario.
Yeah, definitely, and that is true, because, yeah, Braylon, that was the thing. Under that last caution where McRae came in, Braylon stayed out. And remember, the top 4 stayed out, so I believe it's been Braylon and Peden haven't stopped yet. I believe that's right. Don't quote me.
Peden stopped when everybody else did. Chris Toppings is the only other person that has not stopped recently.
Chris Toppings.
So.
Okay.
But, yeah, looking at lap times with McRae and Johnson being on the new tires, they're about a second to a second and a half quicker last lap around compared to Peden, Toppings, and Nunez.
Yeah, definitely. As we see, looks like James Johnson has the fastest lap so far of the race with the 14.94.
Yeah, James McRae, the only other one into the 14s with the 14.99.
And this is going to be interesting because we have a caution
From our leader, the 24. It looked like maybe he was trying to slow down coming pit road.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it just gets William Byron. Was it Byron or Bowman that ran into the back of Ty Dillon?
It was Byron.
Byron, yeah.
Yeah, he plowed to the back of him.
Yeah, poor Ronald Braylon sitting there going, I didn't have a car stopped in the middle of the track on my bingo card for the night.
Yeah, that's where communication comes into a factor. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the benefit of iRacing compared to real life, is you can talk directly to other drivers versus having to relay everything through a spotter crew. But yeah, just massive miscommunication there, and unfortunately, 2 fast cars involved in that with the 24 and the 23.
Yeah, our pole sitter, Mr. Mr. Peden, which was our pole sitter. Now Michael Peden, excuse me. But it's looking like with this big, with this field, how the way it was under that stint, it's looking like he's still in P2.
Yeah, they're coming down pit road, him and Chris Toppings both, which is going to promote James Johnson, who got ahead of Jason Carey before that caution came out.
That's huge. That is huge for sure. So it looks like McRae came in and topped off So that is interesting.
He pulled James Johnson against James Johnson.
I was about to say, we saw James Johnson do that. This is our 8th caution of the night, and it happens on lap 125, so that will give us about, hold on a second, let me do some math, about 46 laps to go, I believe.
35 laps.
35 laps. I was trying to get it in my head, but
We're broadcasters, not math teachers.
34 laps to go in this race now. And here's our recap. Our leader is James Johnson. We've had 8 cautions for 32 laps. We've had 4 lead changes between Johnson, McRae, Peden, and Braylon are our 4 lead changes. Here we go. Everybody's getting together. This is race number 6 out of 10. Today we're at Bristol. We're set to go for 160 laps. Next week, we're hitting the City of Lights in Vegas. Here we go, folks. Green flag back in the way. Oh, it looks like we got a car. Was that a car? I thought we had a car around in the back. But yeah, Johnson and McRae back together again, Brian. But this time, Johnson got a great start. But McRae right there on the back bumper.
Yeah, it looked like Johnson got a little bit of wheel spin there down the middle of the backstretch, and that allowed McRae to really close up and get run side by side, but looks like we are back under caution.
Michael Peden, your pole sitter once again. So that'll bring out our 9th caution, working lap number 129 of 160. So coming up on 30 laps to go, when we go green, we should be 27 to go, 28 to go. Oh my gosh, hard hit by Peden into the wall. Oh man, Scott Matthews avoided the contact. So you take a look right. Oh yeah, just got loose right there. Oh my gosh, and that's interesting, Brian. That's interesting, Brian, because he just pitted.
Yeah, it looked like he ran high there off of 4 and kept the wheel hooked left to keep it out of the wall. And
oh my gosh!
Once you do that on fresh tires, got some wheel spin with it, chased it down the track, and then you're trying to correct it, get the car back under control. And once he hooked the steering wheel right, the car gripped up and fired him off into the outside wall there. Lucky to not collect anybody else in that.
Yeah, definitely. So this is our 9th caution as we work lap number 131, I believe. All right, so when they cross the line, this will be lap 131. There'll be 30 laps to go in this race. Again, your leader is James Johnson, followed by James McRae, Joshua Nunez, Chris Toppings, and first car lap down is going to be Ronald Braylon, and then Scotty Lanning, Jonathan Pereira, Scotty Matthews, Michael Peden, who just brought out the caution, and Cody Adams, Gavin King, Andrew Barnes, and Guillermo Oliveira are all out of this race. So now we see Michael Peden on pit road. Looks like he took a tow. It's going to take a lot to get that car fixed. When you
I'm sure
agree,
he has a
Brian?
fast repair left. Yeah, I don't think he's got a fast repair left either. So, that car, for all intents and purposes, is probably out of contention for a good result in this one.
Yeah, and such a tough break after starting on the pole tonight. Just a tough break for that 24 team. They had high hopes for this race. But now we see James Johnson setting in the lead. And it's very interesting right here because I think we may be going single file right here, Brian.
Yeah, it looks like a single file restart. Lights are off on the pace car, so we should see it duck down pit road any second. But the James and James show, round 4, as we're about ready to go green here.
Yeah, so here we go. Lights are off on the pace car. Going to go a little throwback to a single file restart as James Johnson just gets a great restart. He's gone as they go down the backstretch.
Yeah, he must have done something different that time. He caught James McRae sleeping as he jumped out to about a 4 or 5 car gap there versus restarts pass with James McRae all over the rear bumper of the 88 machine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was checking on, because it didn't seem like he lifted or anything, or checked up the field. He just got a great start, and like you said, McRae was just left sleeping.
Yeah, but we're starting to see those 3-lap newer tires come in play here as he is taking away all of that gap that was built up, and he's going to fire off around the outside, try and go the long way around.
Yeah, tries to get to the outside. They'll drag race going into 4. Coming down the front stretch as we see Michael Peden. Looks like he's coming back out on the track. Meanwhile, but look at this. Joshua Nunez almost got up there. Oh, did you see that? That caused James Johnson to lift, and McRae took advantage of it, and McRae goes to the lead, and that is going to be our 10th caution of the evening as we work lap number 138, and it's going to be for Ronald Braylon, and looks like Scotty Lanning. Had to take a look right here when we get the replay. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens right here. These two racing side by side. Oh, man. Lanning just got loose. Overcorrected. Came down the track, and Braylon had nowhere to go right there, Brian.
No, he didn't, as we see James Johnson take advantage of the caution to come down pit road. But, yeah, Scotty Lanning looked to his left and said, I got a delivery of fresh Krispy Kreme for you here. And collected the 23 of Ronald Braylon, unfortunately, in that.
Yeah, I don't think Ronald Braylon will be purchasing any Krispy Kreme products for a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like James Johnson took tires on that pit stop, so...
Wow.
He will have 15-lap newer tires than everybody in front of him.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, smoke them if you got them, right? I mean, like, if you've got your tires with 20 laps to go, I'd definitely come in. But as we see right here, it looks like, are the pits closed? Is that what I saw?
They should be. I think it all just depends on where the pace car is, but...
So this is interesting, because if we get into a green-white checker, and if you're James McRae, are you thinking that maybe you want to come in? Because the last place you'll go is only down to P3. So, do you want to come in and get those tires for maybe, who knows, those 3 laps, or if it goes sooner, maybe 10 laps, That's very interesting. Pit call by James Johnson, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's taking a gamble here, putting the ball into James McRae's court to either give up the lead and come down and get fresh rubber, or trying to defend, and McRae's hoping that some of these cars between him and Johnson can hold him up for 20 laps, which is a hard prospect to do when you're fighting somebody on brand new tires. But we're going to go double file on this restart, looks like. Which is going to bring the 88 machine closer to the front. But he is going to be on the outside as we go green.
19 laps to go as we go green left in this race. McRae gets a great launch, but look at that. James Johnson makes easy work of Joshua Nunez, and he's got his eyes set on McRae as they're coming back. 18 laps to go this time by. Oh, gets loose.
Wasted no time at all getting around Nunez on those fresh tires. And but Nunez is not falling back. He wants to be part of this scrap.
Yeah, Nunez. Remember, folks, Nunez, no practice, comes in here, puts down a lap, qualifies 5th, and now he's running here in P3, battling James Johnson for 2nd. So take a look at Chris Toppings running in P4. The last car on the lead lap. And then we take a look.
Ronald Braylon behind him is 1 lap down, so that is not technically for position.
So here we go, 15 laps to go. James McRae, the last thing he wants to see is a caution because he's going to have James Johnson coming up on him very, very quickly. And it's going to be tough. I mean, maybe he does want to see a caution because then he can come in and get tires.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's pulling out almost a second lead over James Johnson at the moment, even though you would think the tire advantage would close that gap up very quickly in the favor of the 88 car. So maybe he's confident in how he's running right now that if there is a late caution, he can defend and hold off the fresh tires of the 88.
Yeah, Chris Toppings, meanwhile, going to move to the number 3 spot as he's trying. He does get around Joshua Nunez. And now we have our 11th caution. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be from Michael Peden. And just like we were talking about, Brian, this makes things interesting.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So if you're James McCarry's crew chief, are you bringing your driver in to get a fresh set of Goodyear Eagles?
I would. 10 laps to go, plus the possibility of a green-white checker. I feel like you can't take that risk. I feel like if it was maybe 5 laps to go, I would stay out, but I think 10 laps, you bring them in.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, the worst you're going to start is P5. So, I mean, it's not too big of a deal.
Well, looks like he stayed out, and we got Chris Toppings that came in.
So here we go. We'll take a look at the oh man, Eden just overcorrected it hard into the same. That might be the same spot he hit.
He just had to make sure that he really got the wall that time. He wasn't sure the first time. He had to go check it out a second time.
To take a look as we see Chris Toppings coming off pit road. Pereira also exiting the pits. Pereira 2 laps down in P7. Scotty Lanning 2 laps down in the Krispy Kreme. Almost said Christmas cream. Krispy Kreme. Number 28 car. So here we go, folks. We go back green, there'll be less than seven laps to go, I believe.
Yeah, this is an interesting dynamic because you've got James McRae, who has excellent restarts, but he's on the oldest tires of that lead pack of 5, along with Joshua Nunez. Then you got James Johnson, who's got 15-lap newer tires than him, either starting right behind him or to his outside, depending on if this is single file or double file. But then you got Chris Toppings and Ronald Braylon, both with even newer tires than James Johnson. And they're going to be like sharks in the water, and there's fresh chum that just got put out. So if it hasn't been an exciting race for you yet, it's about to get very exciting over these last 7 laps.
Well, and it's interesting, too, for Toppings, you know. He's on fresh rubber. He's got fresher tires, even more fresher than James Johnson. So does he push the envelope going into 1 and try to get around Nunez and Johnson at the same time right here?
I think you got to. You know, with 16-second lap times around here, the 7 laps are going to go by very quickly, assuming it stays caution-free. But we're about to find out as everybody fires off green flag. Oh my gosh.
It's going to be everybody involved now. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to take a look at that because I think there was just a little wheel spin from James McRae. That's what I'm going to suspect before I make speculation.
They went and found the one scenario we didn't talk about.
Let's see right here. Oh, I don't know about that.
Looks like the 88 pinched him and turned him.
Yeah. Oh, man. These two have raced clean all night long. Oh, man. Well, here's the thing, okay? Let's take a look right here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if McRae came up or Johnson came down or they both moved towards each other there.
That's a tough one to call for sure. Here we go. This is going to give us good view. Thanks to our friends at Track Cams. It just looked... I think that was a little net code. Take a look right here once again. Oh!
Yeah, it's so hard to tell what happened there. It looks like maybe they just went for the same spot, and the netcode that was a savior earlier in the night decided it wanted to be involved in this mayhem. And unfortunately, such a minor incident for both the 27 and the 88. They got smacked by other cars at the end of the wreck, so no idea what condition their cars are in at the moment. But at the end of it, we're going to have a green-white checker, and Joshua Nunez is going to be the leader.
All the way from, like I said, no practice to qualifying 5th, running his race, starts 5th, comes all the way up here, battles all the way, and now he finds himself in the lead. But the interesting thing was, I was going to say, it looked like the 88 did come down just a hair on the 27 at that last moment. But here we go, folks.
Well, James Johnson came into the pits too, so if he took his last set of tires, he's going to have the freshest of everybody. But Joshua Nunez has got Chris Toppings and Ronald Braylon behind him, who both pit under the last caution. Well, I said it was going to be exciting. I didn't expect it to be that level of exciting, and we've got a green-white checker now, which is just going to ramp it up even more.
Well, here we go, folks. 3 laps to go when they hit the line. Looks like we're going to go single file. Nunez, Toppings, Braylon, McRae, Johnson, round out your top 5. Here we go. Green flag back in the air here at Bristol.
Nunez gets a great jump on the 12 of Chris Toppings. There's McRae looking to the outside with those fresh tires. And the 88's going to go with them.
Johnson with him. Here we go. White flag in the air for Joshua Nunez. Nunez down the backstretch for the final time. He sees them side by side. Here comes McRae. McRae shoots in front of Toppings. He's not going to be able to get there. Joshua Nunez is going to steal one away from McRae. Joshua Nunez wins at Bristol. Unbelievable race.
I did not see that one playing out that way. And James Johnson comes spinning across the line backwards, finishing P5. A guy that dominated most of the race, along with James McRae, and has to settle for a 5th place. That one's going to sting for him, you imagine.
Joshua Nunez. There was no practice. He didn't even practice in this car. It comes out victorious. Unbelievable. We'll get a moment to speak with him here in a second as we see there's a little traffic jam as he's trying to do his burnout.
So to add to the improbable race of Joshua Nunez, he just got his application accepted to the league earlier this afternoon. So this is his first race with the league. He shows up, no practice, 1 qualifying lap, puts it P5, and then goes on and wins the race.
How about that?
I don't know if there was a more of a mic drop moment than you could have dreamt up right there.
Oh, man. Wow. That is crazy. Once again, first time winner in the Tobacco Road Cup Series, Mr. Joshua Nunez, as he'll burn it down on the front stretch with the nose right against the wall. All right, so take a look at our results, and Joshua Nunez is going to be your winner, followed by James McRae, Chris Toppings in 3rd. 4th is going to be Ronald Braylon. 5th, James Johnson. 6th, Scotty Lanning. 7th, Jonathan Pereira. 8th, Scott Matthews. 9th, Michael Peden. 10th, Cody Adams. 11th, Gavin King. 12th, Andrew Barnes. And rounded out the field is going to be Guillermo Oliveira in 13th. All right, so we're going to get James McCrae in here just in a moment. Hold on one second. Let's drag him in here. And we have him right here, and he's caught up with Brian Zinn.
Yeah, James, end of the night P2, had a great long battle with James Johnson. But how about you walk us through that restart where you had the contact with the 88? James, you got a copy?
Am I talking? Okay, cool. Sorry.
Hey, now we can hear you.
I always forget Discord's on my other mic and not my headset here.
Oh,
My
good.
bad, guys.
No, you're great. So,
Yeah, that last restart, I just watched it back. I don't know. I don't feel like I spun the tires. It just got close. It almost seemed like a little bit of a jump and a back off, and I got bumped from the 41 or what is he in here, the 13 or something, whatever his real number is. Maybe that moved me a little bit. It sucked, but still P2, so still good night on it. And at the end,
yeah,
so.
we were speculating that we weren't sure if maybe netcode played a part in that too. But yeah, you had an excellent race all night long with James Johnson, and looked like you might have had a fight on your hands with everybody else behind you, pitting for tires on those last restarts. Did you feel like you had enough life in your tires to put up a defense if everything stayed green?
Oh yeah, I felt confident. I mean, with the restart prior, or the one prior to that, it starts to get a little confusing. I did pull out a decent amount, and so I felt comfortable. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think.
Well,
I usually don't hear though, so this is whatever they did to this track is great.
yeah, you were a rocket ship all night. It seemed like it was the James and James show for 98% of the race tonight. But looking towards next week and different track out west in Las Vegas, how you feeling going into next week?
That's always been one of my favorites. Las Vegas always do pretty good there. And I know it's just talking about James on that last restart, but it was a lot of fun battling with him the whole night, and you put on great racing. And yeah, just wanted to say that at least,
Yeah, it was great to watch up here in the booth. But excellent night for you, P2, and look forward to seeing another good week out of you at Vegas.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And yeah, thank you, everyone watching, my girlfriend and mom and out there. You guys
Always got to thank the family.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Brian. And I'm here with your race winner. Gets his application submitted and approved today. Doesn't practice. Comes in and puts a lap down and gets P5 and then walks away with the race. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Joshua Nunez. What a day, man. How does it feel to be in victory lane here at Bristol?
It feels amazing, man. Like, this is like my first league win ever, and it's just I wasn't sure I wasn't sure how I was gonna come out of this. I mean, yeah, I didn't practice too much or anything, and to be honest, it was just kind of a part-time start because I used to have some pretty crazy Wednesdays, but things cleared up and I was able to race, and it's just it just feels amazing that I was able to get it done.
All right. Well, now, will you be running next week at Las Vegas?
I'm not sure. I'll have to. My Wednesdays are kind of off and on about being able to race, but I really hope so. I had a great race tonight, everybody. It was an amazing race. I'd like to thank everybody for just it was a lot of fun out there. So yeah.
So before we let you go, I was about to say, is there anyone you'd like to thank out there?
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank obviously my family, mom and dad. They kind of let me do this whole thing. to the guys at Chesapeake Racing, for Joseph, for Zaire, for Blair, for Carson, just everybody. Just great teammates, great guys, and great friends. And just yeah. So thank you guys so much.
All right. Well, we'll see you hopefully next week at Vegas.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. And we're going to go back to Brian Zinn because I think he's caught up with our third place driver, Mr. Chris Toppings.
Yeah, got Chris Toppins in the booth here. Overall, how did you feel your night went tonight?
It was all right. We had a good time. I'm glad we had a good, we've struggled with getting people to stay in this thing, and we've talked about changing cars and everything, but we had one of the biggest turnouts at the track that I thought we'd had the least turnout. So, and some guys had never even raced in this league. So I felt really good about how it went with some cautions, but I mean, it is Bristol. So I can't, you can't expect so much, but we had a long green flag run there. I stayed out. I had come in to topped off with fuel on one of the early cautions, and it paid out because I stayed out and everybody had pitted, and I stayed. I was running about 5th or 6th, and I was able to get up there in the front and try and dice it up with those guys. I didn't have anything for James or either James. I can tell you.
Yeah, starting P9 on the night, and you walk away with a podium finish in 3rd. So all in all, pretty good night. But what was kind of your expectations or your game plan there on those final couple of restarts? With I think you had one of the newest sets of tires of the top 5 there at the end.
Well, my intention was to do a little better than I did, but I was mirror driving, and that hurts you bad. So. I was trying to hold people off, and what it did was slow me down anyway. But I was just trying to stay clean. I wanted to finish somewhere in that top 5 at least. I didn't want to lose too many spots, but I just wanted to stay up front.
Well, mission accomplished on that one, walking away with the 3rd place. But looking ahead to next week at Vegas, a very different track than Bristol that we were at tonight. So what's your thoughts and feelings about going to Vegas next week?
In this car, if we have 15 drivers, I'll probably finish 15th. I'm still learning this 1.5 miles with this car. I'm way better at short tracks just with my consistency. I'm just not very consistent on running a line and backing up my corner when my tires wear. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better, but I just hope we have a big turnout. It's more important for me to have a good group of guys and a consistent group of guys for next season, going into next season, because we are having a lot of fun. Like tonight shows. I mean, tonight was awesome. It was a lot of fun. We missed Brad Harris being here, but he had some personal matters to attend to, but he'll be back next week, most likely. But that's my main goal, is to try and get some good group of guys in here.
Yeah, missing Brad Harris and Jack Humbert both. So look to hopefully see those guys back next week. Like you said, it was a great turnout tonight. It was a lot of fun to watch up here in the booth, and definitely hope to carry things forward to Vegas. But before we let you go, any people you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my better half, because she puts up with me on this, sitting on this rig numerous hours of the day. So
I feel that.
I don't do much else, but like gaming wise or anything. But I do love this. So, and she's very patient with it. So I have to give her the shout out on that.
Amen. Well, congratulations again on P3, and hope to see you have another good result next week at Vegas.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Brian. So before we go, Brian, I want to get your final thoughts on tonight's race.
Well, like we talked about at the top of the show, Bristol's one of those things where it's either going to be a lot of green flag runs or a lot of cautions, and we got the latter instead of the former. But Bristol's always great fun. It's good to race. It's good to watch. It's good to broadcast. So you heard it from Chris there. They were hoping to have a big turnout. And they did with 13 or 14 guys showing up tonight to race. But overall, really great battles. The James versus James battle was fun to watch. They were both our picks, and they did not disappoint. Shame neither one of them won in the end. But Yeah, Chris Nunez being a dark horse, rocking up with no practice and taking away the win. There was a lot of fun, but yeah, it's classic Bristol. That about sums it up there. But what about you, Emmett?
Well, I think what a moment, for Joshua Nunez. In his first career race with Tobacco Road, he comes in here and gets the win. Huge job. Congratulations to Joshua Nunez. But we're going to shift gears next week, and we're headed to the 1.5 miles at Las Vegas. What are you expecting there?
Well, it's one of my favorite 1.5 miles, so hoping for a lot of good action up and down the field. Hopefully, a few less cautions that short tracks tend to bring out, and get some green flag pitch strategy playing out. But yeah, I hate to use the cliche analogy with Vegas being home of all the casinos and everything, but these guys are going to go gambling. It's coming down to the end of the season. Championships are, people are in the hunt for it, jockeying around in the overall standings. You had some guys that didn't show up tonight that are near the top of the standings, and so they're going to be looking to make up for lost time if they show up next week. So should be a good one. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So, for my producer, Mr. Rob Campbell in the truck, pushing all the buttons, making us look good on here, and my co-announcer, Mr. Brian Zinn, I'm Emmett Crow saying we'll see you next week from Las Vegas. Good night, everybody.